So it can continue to track your location continuously with GPS in the background. Now, GPS uses a fair bit of power, and something like TomTom wants to use it all the time. And that's OK for an app like this, because it's generally used in the car when your iPhone is plugged in and charging. But there's another class of applications that also wants to use your location, but it isn't used when you're plugged in and charging. These are social networking applications, like Looped. And we came up with a great solution for these apps that doesn't require GPS to be on all the time. And for that, we use cell towers. Now, it turns out our baseband is always connected to a cell tower. It's the way that you receive phone calls. And it knows when you've moved from one cell tower to another. And if you've switched cell towers, we know you've moved location as well. So we're sitting there with this very low power, always listening to it. And we know you've moved locations, normally 500 to 1,000 meters to switch between cell towers. We can then wake up the application and tell it your new location, and it can tell all of your friends. So that's background location. Now, for all these location things, we take privacy very, very seriously. Ever since we added the first APIs for location, we would put up a panel whenever an application wanted to use your location. And the user would have to approve this. We're taking privacy several steps further in iPhone OS 4. First, we're adding an indicator right on the status bar to let you know if any application is asking for your location, be it a foreground application or one of the background applications, so you can know if something's tracking your location. Next, we're adding fine-grained settings so you can see all the applications that would like to use your location. And the user can enable or disable location per application. And on top of all of this, if any application has asked for your location in the last 24 hours, we'll add an indicator right next to that app so you can know that it's asked for your location. So we're being completely transparent on the usage of location, and we're letting users set, on an app-by-app basis, the ability for apps to use location. And that is background location. Next, push notifications. Now, we've had these for about 9 months now. They're incredibly popular. They're great for things like scoring updates, news alerts, people challenging you to a game. So they're incredibly popular. In fact, in just 9 months, we've pushed more than 10 billion notifications. Here's how it works. A third party sets up a server. They send their notification to Apple's push notification server, and then we send it to the phone. And we can do this with very low power because we're always connected. We have a single connection to the phone, and we'll coalesce multiple notifications from multiple sources through this one connection to the phone. So that's push notification. Now, building on push notification, we're adding a new service, which is local notifications. Local notifications are just like push notifications, except you don't need a server. It can all be done right on the phone. So for instance, let's say you have a TV guide application, and it wants to alert you, give you an alarm when your favorite television show, The Colbert Report, is about to start. And it can do all of that with local notifications. So that's local notifications. Next, task completion. There are some apps that take a while to complete an operation, like Flickr. If you start uploading photos to Flickr, it takes a little while to do that. And until now, if you left the application while it was uploading the photos, it would stop. But with task completion, Flickr can continue to upload those photos in the background even after you've switched away from it or to another application. Our last service is fast app switching. Now, this is probably the easiest for developers to adopt and probably the most important. Fast app switching is what allows an application, when you're running it, and switch away to store all of its state and move into a quiescent state in the background, so it's not using any CPU at all. So let's say you go from TapTap to Mail, and then when you go back to that game, or whatever the application is, it's instantly exactly where you left it. There's no need to launch the application. There's no need to restore the state, restore where you are in the game. Everything has been preserved, and you're right back where you were. And these are our 7 services for multitasking. They are very, very deep and provide a lot of power for developers to add multitasking to their apps. To go along with all of this, we have this incredible user interface to make it incredibly simple and fast for you to switch between applications. And that is multitasking, which is our first tentpole for iPhone OS 4. I'd like to hand it back to Steve.
Good job. Thank you, Scott. So, our second tentpole. This is one where we've also gotten a lot of requests. Folders. As people are downloading more and more apps, they're having to flick from page to page to page to find them. They want to organize them. They want a better way to organize them and a better way to find them. And folders fit the bill. And rather than talk about it, let me just show you what they look like. We came up with a really beautiful implementation of folders. So let me go to my second page over here full of apps. And I want to make a folder with games in it. I have several games, and it'd be nice if I could put them in one folder to keep them all together and make it real easy to find them. So what I do is I just push my finger on an app, just like I do to move it. They start to jiggle, and I just drag one app on top of another, and it instantly makes a folder. Right? Now, it also automatically names the folder based on the category that these apps came from the App Store. I can rename it, anything I want, but if I don't want to bother, I just use the name that it intelligently selects. And that's folders right there. So let me put a few more apps in. I can just drag apps in there. And you can see the icon actually changes as I drag apps in. Right? So now I've got a folder with my games in it. And there they are. And I just tap on one to launch it. I can drag this around anywhere I want. Right? And I can have as many folders as I'd like. I can also even, let me go ahead and make space in the dock. I can even put a folder in the dock so that I have it now wherever I am, whatever home page I'm on, I've got my games with me. Right? Really nice. Now, one of the other things I wanted to show you, it's not really about folders, but it's about the home screen, which is the ability to change the wallpaper. It's really nice. So let me go into Settings and Wallpaper, and I've got a camera roll with some wallpaper on it, and I can just change it very easily. I can say, let's pick this one. I could set the home screen to this or the lock screen or both, so I'm going to just set both to that. And now you can see I've changed my wallpaper. Right, oops, sorry. And again, you can see my folders right there. I can use multitasking to just go right back to Settings, exactly where I left. Let's pick Denim. There we go. And again, folders. And right back where I left again. And let me pick one more. So there you go. And that's how easy it all is. So that is folders. An incredibly great drag and drop UI with intelligent naming, and you used to be able to see 180